The next group of the roles is operations. And this group includes dispatchers, fleet managers, field technicians, and operation managers roles. For example, dispatcher functions are to assign tasks to technicians, control the jobs, track all available resources for the job, and they can manage rental units, manage field technician jobs. User with this role can see sales, oilfield rentals, general rentals, and safety modules in rigor, and all related documents with these modules. The next role, fleet manager, it is a new role in rigor. This manager controls the entire fleet, like internal processes with the inventory movements, bill of materials, assemblies, disposals, sales of the units, a lot of internal processes which organize the fleet. And the next role in rigor system is field technician. This role responsible mostly of the field jobs like tickets and safety documents. And then last role in this group is operation manager, which this role has read-only rights in the system, and this role differs from dispatcher role that this is a general role for the reports and dashboards of the operations. So in the next slide, you can see the operations group matrix for dispatcher, field technician, operations manager, and fleet manager role. And you can see which documents these roles can create, edit, or only just to view, only to just has a read-only rights. So yes, different role can access only the different documents in the system.
And let's continue and talk about the next section of the user roles setup, which is the operational roles. So the operational roles consist of 4 major roles, which are the dispatcher, the fleet manager, the operations manager, and obviously the field technician. And the first one we are going to discuss and just see a glimpse on how to set up would be the dispatcher. And obviously, in most cases, the dispatcher is the most important person in the operations, and he controls everything starting from the ticket assignments and field technician assignments and controlling the jobs, and ending up with the choosing the resources for the jobs and providing the services to the correct locations and the clients. So the dispatcher role is obviously a very important one, but we have very much simplified that role and brought to a selection of just one single role, just one single checkbox, which will allow you to grant all the permissions to the dispatcher so he can operate all of those documents and the jobs. So the dispatcher, what he does, he again has access to all the operational documents, which are the tickets, main tickets, and the inventory in the system. He has the sales, OFR, and GR menus and the safety menu added to his visibility list in the menu section. He has access to rental ticket types and the field ticket documents, the rental break notes, internal job tickets, repair cards, rig movements, inspections, etc. And he has access to more than 50 plus reports. So a very important role in the system, but yet again simplified. And if, as Indra has described the function matrix, if you need to add some additional functionality to the dispatcher role, you can always use the function matrix and let's say add prices manipulation to and prices management to his role. Let's move on to the next role, which is the operation manager in our system. And again, just one single checkbox, but the operational manager has mostly read-only access as the, in most cases, the managerial roles require. He has only read-only access, and he has access to all the most documents in the system and all the reports in the system. So the operation manager can go to the reports section, generate any kind of reports. He will have access to sales, oilfield rentals, general rentals, safety, HR purchases, and info menus, obviously. This excludes just a few, I think. And reports he has access to are limited only by the revenue reports. So the only section of the reports that the operational manager would not have access to is the revenue reports in our system. Going ahead to the field technician, and the field technician is the other end of the operational cycle, as you can imagine, and again, very important role, but very simplified and very limited access. So by checking the field technician checkbox in our user settings role setup, window, we just grant the field technician the ability to see the job tickets that are particularly assigned to him only. So he will be able to see only his tickets and nothing more in the system. He will use the oilfield rentals, general rentals, and the safety menus. The only documents he will have access to are the operational documents and safety documents, again, limited only by his access level that are assigned to him. He has access to 8 reports, which include the location report, the mileage, the field technician status history report, the list of field tickets, etc. And this is basically in most cases, the most essential part of the field technician role setup. Meaning, if you do not really require to have anything else in the system, this checkbox, just checking this checkbox, is ideal to have granted field technician abilities to a certain user. Moving on to the next role, which is the fleet manager. Now, as Indra has stated, fleet manager is a new role in our system, and the main intent of this role is to control the internal fleet operations, meaning he will control the internal inventory movements from one yard to another. He will create a bill of materials, he will create assemblies and manipulate assemblies, item disposals, etc. So the menus that the fleet manager has access to are only limited to the oilfield rentals and the general rentals. And the documents he has access to are mainly the internal documents, which are the intercompany transfer, the defective units list for the repair cars, the assembly list, the bill of materials, etc. Just the internal inventory or fleet documentation. The reports the fleet manager has access to, currently has access to 9 reports, which are the subrental reports, list of unit numbers, and the internal inventory other reports. Let's move forward to our field and items functions setups for the operation roles. Now, as Indra again has stated, the function matrix is a place that you can go and grant additional functionality to a particular user role. Meaning, if you want to, let's say so, add an item management functionality to your operations manager role, and remember the operation manager role has only read-only access to the system, you can come here, you can select the items checkbox, and it will grant the operation manager the item management functions, meaning he will be able to go ahead into the items catalog in our system. He can create, edit, delete, and do any other operations connected with all the items in the system, be it the rental units, be it the consumables, be it services, or anything else. So the function matrix, again, is a place to go to add additional functionality to particular users in your system. And for the operations case, the function matrix grants the ability to have item management, the departments management, which also happen to be the shops or yards that you have employed, the price management ability, and the ability to manage the inspection templates and inspection cards. So these are basically the 4 functionalities that can be extended to for the operational roles.